Shalom, this is Avraham Shira. We're looking at a very fascinating Torah from Rebbe Nachman in Yud Bet of Tinyana. The last paragraph says like this: Im yomar lecha Adam heichan Elokecha tamar lo b'krach gadol shel Romi. This is a famous little piece of Gemara from Talmud Yerushalmi in Ta'anit. Why is it so interesting? If a person says to you, "Where is your God?" tell him, "In the great city of Rome." Now, it's an interesting question, where is your God? It reminds me of a friend of mine was on a bus in India, and he was putting on his tefillin. And an Indian fellow there asked him what he was doing, and he said, "I'm putting on tefillin. It's a mitzvah of my God." And the fellow asked him, "Well, how many gods do you have?" And he said, "Only one." And the fellow said, "Oh, that's too bad. I have 37. I was like, one God is hard enough. 37, who can manage that? But the question is still an interesting question. If a person says, "Where is your God?" For a normal, or should I say a regular monotheistic perception would answer, well, that there's one God and he's everywhere. But when a person asks you, "Where is your God?" the implication is there's a place that he is not. There's a place where you cannot access your God. And you're supposed to tell him in the great city of Rome, not in the temple in Jerusalem or in the synagogue in Lincoln Square or the mosque in Mecca or in the cathedral in Rome. Well, actually, I guess that would work, the cathedral in Rome. You tell him, "Davka, my God is in your place of worship. My God is in the great city, the lowest places that you can find in the universe." And this is an idea that we've been dealing with in this Torah Yud Bet for a while. Ayeh makom kavodo, where is the place of his glory? And Rebbe Nachman is teaching about when a person falls to the lowest places, the places we don't even want to mention. And they could be physical places, obviously, but they can also be psychic and emotional places. The darkest depression, the places that we don't want to even give a name. When we fall there, we're supposed to understand that God is there. And so he goes on to tell us that even in a place that is filled with idols and strange worship, that even Hashem is there. Now, what is strange worship? Means that I'm giving my power to something else. I'm giving my power to the stock market. I'm giving my power to the queen. I'm giving my power to my boss. There's a lot of places we can give our power. But the one God of Israel says, "Give your power to me and I'll give you more." Give your power to the Torah and I will give you the Torah. Which of course is God's teaching. And so we see here a klal kishenofel sham chasasham, when a person falls to those dark places. Azai kishematchil levakesh et Ayeh makom kavodo, where is the place of his glory? When he starts to ask that question, bezehu mechayet atzmo mechiyut et kedusha, that in this place, when he asks the question, he's already accessing new holy life force to get out of there. Ayeh makom kavodo, where is the place of your glory? I just got off the bus in the wrong part of town, and I'm looking around me, and what am I doing here? We're supposed to ask, Ayeh makom kavodo. Now, there are really two situations that can happen. Or a person goes down to the wrong part of town on purpose, because he has some intention in mind. Or he accidentally enters there, not knowingly. Well, there is a third example where a person goes there because he's on a mission to save or help people. That does exist as well. Certainly many shalichim, many rabbanim, many hidden tzaddikim will go to places that are very dark in order to try to reach out to somebody. But nonetheless, I think here we're talking about the peshat is when a person falls to a place that he knows that he shouldn't really be there, and he goes anyways. He knows there's some action down there. And then he suddenly wakes up and says, what am I doing here? Ayeh makom kavodo. Where is the place of your glory? We're supposed to ask, where is the honor of Hashem? Now you might say the honor of Hashem is in the synagogue, or the honor of Hashem is at the kotel, or the honor of Hashem is in the yeshiva. That's true. But there it's already a little more revealed by the behavior of people, by the energy, the collective energy of the activities that take place in those holy places. It creates a revelation of a certain amount of honor and glory. If you walk into Nar Shalom, you feel something in the air. It's always that something. A friend of mine said, every time I leave your Shira, I feel like I'm on a magic carpet. I said, I'm not sure if that's good or not, but he was in Nar Shalom. So the place has an ambiance, a buoyancy, a spiritual buoyancy that lifts you up. But that's not out there in some of the neighborhoods that we don't want to visit. But even when we're there, we're supposed to ask Ayeh makom kavodo, because that's how we reconnect to the holy life force. Ki chiyut klipa hu rak me'astara, because the power that comes from the other side is hidden. Now, when I get up in the morning and you get up in the morning, we have basic desires. That's life force. I want to eat. I want to drink. I want to daven. I want to open a sefer. I want to go to work. All those wantings are life force being expressed in various vessels. But if you wake up in the morning and you start thinking about how I can score something I shouldn't, or how I can develop a new way to scam somebody online, or of how can I break into the bank, that's really the life force of the other side, because the motivator behind the desire is not according to the Torah. It's against the laws of the Torah, and that's life force, but it's from the other side. So it's a hidden life force. It's not coming from the place of holiness. So sometimes we have to make these decisions many times in a day. What am I connecting to right now? What's my motivation? Why am I here? What's my purpose? And earlier in the Torah, he told us the main purpose is always to look for the honor of Hashem, that whatever I do, it should make people say, Baruch Hashem. It should make people say, I'm glad God created that guy. When you get overchanged at a store and you return the money to the cashier, that's a Kiddush Hashem. That's sanctifying God's name. What does it mean to sanctify God's name? You hear this phrase all over the religious world. L'shem Shemayim, Kiddush Hashem. It's a wonderful phrase, but what does it mean? It means to bring holiness to God's name. But what's His name? His name is 4 letters on a page. His name is 4 letters in heaven. He has many, many names. No, a name for a human being means a reputation. That when we do something good, we elevate God's reputation in other people's minds. That suddenly people say, that Jew, he just returned that money to me when he didn't have to. That's a Kiddush Hashem, because in his mind, he's thinking of that Jew's God. And he's telling himself, Baruch Hashem, wow, somebody did something good. Because he believes in that one God of the Hebrews that came out of Egypt 3,600 years ago. That's Kiddush Hashem. To elevate how people look at Hashem. Not how people look at the religious. The religious take on the responsibility by keeping the Torah, by living a certain lifestyle. But the whole point is that people look and see and say there is something else instead of all these gods in the great city of Rome, in the great city of New York, in the great city of Tel Aviv, where people are just giving their power to everything else. Why? People think if I become religious, I won't have all the pleasures I want. It's not true. It's a lie. You can have all the pleasures you want, but the Torah says when and how much and where and with whom. Well, I don't like to be blocked in. Well, then you don't understand how to channel life force. And when you learn how to channel life force, you go from being a 60-watt light bulb to a laser beam. Your mind comes alive with the focus of the power of your soul. Instead of this dull, little, blinking LED light on the back porch that you can barely see your hand in front of. So the Torah is helping us to focus into that laser beam of mental power, which is the light of your soul. But when we're coming from the wrong place, this place of the hidden life force, then it gets all kind of, there's a reason why the snake is the symbol of evil, because when he moves, he's always going back and forth. You can't ever nail him down. He doesn't move straight with you. Don't you love those salesmen? You start this way, he goes that way. You start that way, he goes this way. Or people, they talk to you. You ask them a question, they give you another answer. They give you a different question. They can't be straight. That's a sign of a little bit of that primordial force we call the ancient snake. When we're straight, the world looks different. Straight with our mind, our heart, our body. And the only way we can do that is with the Shulchan Aruch, with the Torah. Now, each person at their level. You can't keep the whole Shulchan Aruch in one day or in 1 year of yeshiva. There's thousands of laws we don't know about that you only get to as you refine your path. But as long as I'm on the path, then I'm on the right side of the highway. And that's the idea of tapping into the holy life force. And when we ask, no matter where we are, Ayeh Mekom Kavodo, where is the place of His glory, I'm automatically plugging into the right socket. And the simplest implication of that is that at least I know there's a God. Even if I'm not religious. I know there's some God out there. And I can ask, where is His honor in all this? Is it the honor of a rock star, the honor of a president, the honor of, a wealthy person? No, those are honor. They're honorable places. The judge gets that little label in front of his name, the Honorable Judge Joseph P. Wapner. Some of you might appreciate that. Okay, we give the label, but the real honor is Hashem. And then it falls down into little vessels here in the human world. But the true honor of Hashem, it shines like the sun. It shines from your heart and it straightens everything out. So, when someone says to you, where's your God? Now, most people don't go around asking this kind of question, I imagine. And maybe they used to. Or maybe in India they ask you, what God are you serving today? And you can understand the non-Jewish mind. When I need rain, I believe in the God of rain. When I need healing, I believe in the God of the herbs or the grasses who's making the medicines. And when I need something's falling apart in my life, I turn to that God of that thing. Could be a river, could be a mountain, could be a tree. Okay, we understand that the non-Jewish mind, any non-monotheistic mind, I should say, any non-monotheistic mind is broken up into little compartments, and each one has a power. This is where I get my money, I give power to that. This is where I get my health, I give power to the doctor. This is where I get my fun, I give power to the source of my fun. But this is exactly what we're trying to fix. We say, Shema Yisrael. Hear, O Israel, Adonai Eloheinu. God is our God. He's not somebody else's God. Hashem is one, and He's one. Just one. It's so much easier. And then we get life force no matter where we arrive, no matter how far we fall, whether I took the wrong bus on purpose or not. And even if you find yourself right now as you're hearing these words in the wrong place, just declare out loud. Out loud is very important. Ayeh makom kavodo. Where is your honor, Hashem? Where is the honor in this place? And you'll see there's a switch. You could feel it. That my life force is no longer coming from the hidden place, from that pit in my stomach. It's coming from a candle in my heart. And then he says, and then a person will merit to elevate himself completely to the holy. And that's the place of the revelation of the glory. That's where it's clearly seen. When you go to the kotel on a Friday night, I don't believe anybody could say there's not something happening here. You know, there's a Zohar that says that any place where birds swirl, it's a sign of the presence of the Shekhinah. Go to the kotel on Friday night. What do you see? There's birds swirling. I've been to Lag BaOmer and Merom at least 20 times. On that night, I see birds swirling above the kever of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in Meron. What's going on? What's going on? The swirling birds. They're just working out. It's a new it's a new workout for the birds. Let's swirl at the kotel on Friday nights. I don't think so. I think there's something very hidden in all of the physical world, and we're here to find it and live with it and draw power and faith from it. And that all comes from just asking the question, where is the honor in this place? I want to be an honorable person. I don't want to be dishonorable. If you get overcharged in a store and you pocket the $10 and don't return it to the cashier, you're going to carry that your whole life, that $10. Wow. I hope you feel rich. It's a mark you'll carry your whole life. I wasn't honorable. Is it worth it to carry around that label in my mind that I wasn't honorable for $10? Whereas when I go back and I see the smile on that cashier's face and the gratitude and the thankfulness that you returned the money so that at the end of their day, they're not short. Voila. You've just done it, sanctified God's name. You've elevated the God of Israel in the minds of humanity. It might not be so much, but it's something. It's really something. And guess what? You don't have to carry that other thing around. So that's asking for the honor. Where's the honor? And so, you know, each person is on their own place on the escalator, you know. So I have to judge myself with Hashem. I can't judge myself according to everybody else around me. And each person has Hashem with him, and he has to figure out where I am. I can't wear baggies and a tank top into synagogue. It just it doesn't work anymore. You know, maybe 40 years ago I might have done that. But it still doesn't feel right. I remember the first time, it must have been 1985, I walked into a yeshiva. I'd just gotten off a 20-hour drive from Florida to New York. And I walked into yeshiva where my brother was in baggies and a tank top. And I was like, wow, I felt half naked. I didn't even know why. I had no idea what holiness was. But I knew I didn't feel right. And that's how God communicates. what we don't feel right about is actually Him showing us the right way to go. Anyways, it's tough in the summertime, it's 90 degrees out there, but I think you get the idea. And every place where there's that little bit of revelation of His glory, a little bit of that honor is revealed, that's where the holiness is. Yitkale kvodo yiparach, and Hashem's honor is elevated and revealed. Baruch Adonai la'olam amen v'amen. And that's the end of this long Torah we've been learning for about a week on Patreon. I hope all of you are having a good day and it gets better and better. Please join us. Check out our classes, the options, the tiers on Patreon. There's something there for everybody. And we look forward to seeing you again. Check out YouTube. We've got some classes there that have been around for a while. And, we keep getting positive feedback everywhere we go. So join us and let's hear your feedback, things that you want to learn, questions that you have. That's part of why we have the Patreon platform. So you can write us and join and add to the creativity of the Torah. Because it all begins here. Okay, all the best, and hopefully we'll be talking tomorrow. Take care.